Backstage, the show where we sit down with local artists and international artists and find out what's going on in their lives and in their careers. On Channel 82, where Bermuda shines through.
Hi, I'm Mr. Magic, and welcome to Backstage. In the world of music, you've got a genre of instruments that get played. This gentleman actually has a kitchen full of instruments, mainly percussions. He is the legendary Mr. Keith Caisey. Welcome to the show, sir.
Pleasure to be here.
Yes, it's a pleasure to help you. I'm doing very well.
Good.
And yeah, we talk about your setup. Now, you and I were involved in the show some years ago at the Hamilton Princess.
Yes.
And your setup, as I like to call your kitchen, was absolutely astounding in everything in the percussion world, from the triangle to the drums to the snares. I mean, wow. How long have you been a percussionist?
Started at the age of probably 12.
Oh, okay.
Up until now.
Up until now.
Right.
That spans 22 years.
Yeah, it's been quite a while, and that particular setup, as you see it, that's in the percussion world we call it a rig.
Yes.
It was set up to cover quite a few different genres of music, whether it was the Latin side, the African side, or just basically your sort of hip-hop side with the industrial metallic sounds and all that.
Yes.
But it had instruments from every culture that you could think of within that rig.
Yeah. Now, again, you called it a rig, and as I told you, I called it your kitchen because, folks, the man cooks in there, really.
Yes, it
I
is.
mean, yeah, you know, I was so impressed. I mean, yeah, I play percussions with my, my Uncle Reno Drake growing up, you know, but me, one conga drum, I'm good to go. You, I mean, your hands are moving, you're faster than lightning, you know. And
yeah, but I'm going to tell you what, I like one conga drum.
One conga drum?
Yeah, because at the end of the night, I got to break that whole system down.
Oh, yeah,
so
you do.
With one drum, you're going.
Yeah, just put it in the bag and just walk out.
No, but it's demanding. It demands that you have that type of setup. Especially playing with the show like we were playing with, the Hines Brothers, and it covered Calypso, it covered Latin, it did your contemporary top 40 stuff. And
yeah, and you utilized everything from the chimes all the way down, you know.
It's placement.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all placement.
Did you have a gong there as well?
I did have a gong as well.
Yeah,
yes, I did have a gong. Yes.
Yeah. Wow. It's just, it's so amazing that, you know, like I said, you think of instruments, you know, if you're a trumpet player, that's what you can do. Or you can pick up a cornet, you could probably work a cornet, you know. Your saxophone player is a reed instrument, you may be able to pick up a clarinet, you know, and work that out. But with percussions, the array of instruments, I mean, from a cowbell even, you know, to be unique in that regards, and music. These instruments, if you were to say, well, you said conga drum as one, but if you were to pick any one as one that really resonates you as, you know, as a percussionist, which one would it be?
That's a very hard position to be put in. I mean, my passion is playing the congas.
Okay, there you go.
The congas are an instrument that have more musicality than people realize. It's a very musical instrument because if played, it's musical. If you sort of beat it, you're not going to get what you want if you played it musically. But sometimes I've been out for jobs and people said, I would like to get a bongo player. And I have to clarify with them, what do you want, a bongo player? Or do you want a conga player? Or do you want a percussionist? And then they say, break it down for me. And you have to go through the whole jargon about what it is, what a percussionist does.
Okay, well, but for the layman's right now, let's break it down.
Okay, we will break it down. A conga player is someone who plays congas. In the Latin genre, a bongo player actually plays bongos.
Okay.
You mentioned cowbell. A cowbell player would play cowbell in a Latin ensemble, as well as guido.
Yes.
Right? And then you move to the African ensemble, you would have your djembe folos that consist of all types of drums.
Yes.
Djembes, jonjons, kinkinis, britikes, also the African kora and the balafon. Right? I love the instruments from the African genre, the balafon and the kora. I love the djembe. It's a spirit drum. From that side, I love those three because they're feature instruments.
Right.
On the Latin side, the congas, as I said, played musically. I like to play five, and because a lot of melody.
Yeah.
So you become sort of very hypnotized by the melody of them. When I go to the Brazilian side, we're dealing with a batucada. It's vast. It's vast. The Brazilians probably have more musical instruments per instrument
Wow.
per ensemble.
Per ensemble.
Yeah.
Now, folks, if it sounds like he's teaching, that's because he is a professor, and I should have introduced him as Professor Keith Caisey. I should have, because he really is a professor of music, and the lyrics that you're hearing right now, I mean, some of these words I have never heard before, some I have. You know, so I'm getting a lesson as well in this. I mean, I knew about the djembe, I knew about the conga, I knew about the bongo, but some of these other instruments you mentioned, as far as the drums, you know, I mean, I know about the kettle drum and things like that.
Exactly.
So yeah, there are different areas of that. So, and with you giving us this knowledge, you know, and you've had a vast experience, you know, in this world, because it has afforded you to actually see the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What happened in Australia? yeah, come on. What happened?
Everything.
No, you know what I'm talking about. What happened?
Everything that could possibly happen happened in Australia. I was living in Paris in '77. 76, and I went to Australia. I went with a gentleman by the name of Nabil Jaha. In Europe, he's known as Little Sammy. He had quite a few #1 hits over in France. And upon arriving in Australia, I realized there were no percussionists. None. I mean, there was like 4 guys that I knew that we had a group called the Congologists. One was from Cuba, one was from Puerto Rico, one was from India, and the other guy was from, Nestor was from Uruguay. And we got together and we played rumbas in the park, Centennial Park. That's early stages. There weren't any black bands that I could look out and see. So Taboo was formed. Mataquali Music was formed. Doug Williams and the Black Mass or Power, they were formed. Marsha Hines was one of the few female black artists that you saw. I played with a group called Ayers Rock. They had recently recorded in America, in A&M Studios. And I toured with them for about 7 years. And Ayers Rock was considered the jazz rock fusion band of Australasia, and worked with them for 7 years. So I got a lot of exposure, lots of exposure, and played all the big concerts. And it moved from that progression. I felt the need to come back over and get back into the roots feel, like the reggae and all the stuff. So I started playing with an Aboriginal band called No Fixed Address, and the other one was called Warumpi Band. So there and then began my sort of relationship with the Aboriginal people, very strong relationship, and going in and out of Glebe Island Cultural Center, doing cultural exchanges. But working with the guys from Warumpi Band, No Fixed Address, and then I went to Mataquali Music, which was South Pacific reggae jazz rock, really nice. And this band went on to do a lot of great things. I moved from Sydney to Queensland, which opened up a whole different ball game, because I had endorsements with a company called Mino Percussion, and then Latin Percussion came along and they took me on with a lifetime endorsement. So I was doing facilitation, demonstrations at all the big festivals, Wilmette Festival, Woodford Festival, all these festivals. And then I was playing with 5 different bands. So we got to do the Sun Splashes and things, like a band called Mahana or Maori. Everyone was from New Zealand, Maori Brothers. I played with Casablanca. I was working with a group called African Savannah, and working with another group called Exodus. So I was working with these 5 bands, so I'm working all the time. Another band called TK. While all this was going on, I was probably, you could say, teaching days.
Yes.
Teaching days.
Playing nights.
Playing nights, but I'll finish the gigs, the nighttime gigs, and go into the recording studio.
Okay.
So
Australia was good for you?
Australia was more than good, because I got to perform at the 2000 Olympics opening ceremonies.
Wow.
That was a nice crowning to everything that I had done in that country. I recorded on over 200 CDs for Australian artists, in excess, and people like Sherbet, lots of albums. But having done all that, I did most of the major TV stations. They would like things like Simon Townsend Won the World, 028 lineup, which was an ethnic station, like VSB type of thing. And it just kept going around in a circle like this. But I got to a point where I had been out of Bermuda, some 20 odd years? You know, I mean, been going longer than that, but for long periods of time. And I decided to come back. And I think
Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
Yeah.
Because before we come back to Bermuda,
Yeah.
we're going to go Cuba with you.
Oh.
See how he smiles when I say this? We'll be back right after this. We've been in Australia. He told us what happened. Let's find out what happened in Cuba. We'll be back right after this.